when I first started learning the principles, I started noticing how often what I thought about created confusion or tension or worry or some kind of stress. And I started going, oh, if thinking about this causes stress, why would I keep thinking about it? And I wouldn't do anything other than come back to the present moment. And basically, I'm letting go of all of that thinking. And I started letting go of more and more and more. And now I think probably 90% of the thinking we do during a day is not helpful or necessary. Wow. So when we have less thinking, we're still here. We just become more present. And when we have less thinking and are more present, we feel closer to whatever is around us. So the trees, Natasha and I have every day I've been here 3 days now. We've gone for long walks. And we can be thinking, and then at some point, we fall out of our thinking and we're present, and we can't help but to see beauty everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just, well, we're dropping into the feeling that allows us to experience beauty. So we feel closer to each other as friends. We feel closer to the ocean. We walked by the ocean today, and the beautiful houses and the green and the people and the dogs. So in a sense, it's less thinking allows people to fall in love with life. Like when we fall in love with someone, we fall out of thinking and feel connection. And it's just nice to know we can fall in love with life the same way.
Which brings me to the next page, which has the title of Love. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we say in this chapter, which is also highlighted, is generosity of spirit is love. Like I just mentioned before, the ocean of compassion wants to rise. Or when we give, when we are of service, that is love. It is giving without judgment. It's giving without expecting anything back. And it comes naturally from within us when we have less on our mind. When I don't think so much about me and what are they thinking now and how will I do and will they like me, when that falls away, from within comes just this, how can I help? How can I support you? How can I be of service? What do you need? And it's really beautiful. And that's, to us, the essence of love. And it's who we are. It's who we are. It's who every one of us is. When we get out of this intellect, this ego that's constantly babbling, it really, when we fall out of that, it's built into us, to the very fabric of our being, of being loving, caring, compassionate. How can I help? What do you need? So that love is not really an act of doing something, it's just an act of being me, of being our essence. And that's really beautiful to see. You see it in children, you see it in adults, you see it in poor people, rich people, you see it all around the world. It's universal that when we fall out of our thinking, this generosity of spirit just naturally comes out in us.
Sure makes it simple if we only have one job. That if we see how thought is creating any tension we're experiencing. It's not coming from outside of us or other people or situations. If we see that, it'll bring us back to being present. So we have less thinking, we're present. Takes no effort to be present. There's no trying, no doing. Can't do being present. You just are present. And when people are present, all that thinking quiets down naturally. And then you start tapping into deeper feeling of well-being, deeper feeling. And then when you drop into that feeling, if you give away that feeling, in a sense, a smile, a kindness, a kind word, what a beautiful way to live your life, that you can live that way in any situation or circumstance. So, I mean, I was really fortunate to have Sid Banks as my mentor for 23 years, and he'd say, Dicken, keep it simple. Look within, find a quiet underneath all that thinking, find that quiet of presence. In that quiet, there's a nice feeling. You don't have to label it. You don't have to understand it. Just drop into that feeling and then let it guide you toward being kind, being generous, being giving, being caring. And it just makes life simple, and it's a beautiful way to live your life.
And this inner guidance that comes from that is what we call wisdom. It's what allows us to know where to go, what to do, you know, what to say, maybe not say anything at all. It's built into us. So as soon as we drop out of all this thinking, the ocean of compassion, love, arises naturally, and with it comes a feeling, and that feeling guides us beautifully, perfectly. It's so simple. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful way to live.
It really affected my parenting, because I would get impatient or annoyed or bothered when my kids were doing things I didn't think they should be doing. And then I would just see, oh, that's coming from my thinking. And if I let go of that thinking and come back to the now, I'll feel better. And then without thinking about it, I'll just know how to be kind. I'll know what to do as a parent. And I'm going, oh my gosh, this simplifies parenting. I don't need 10,000 books telling me how to be a good parent. It's built into every one of us to be good at touching our well-being, feeling it, and giving it away. No matter what other people are doing or not doing, that's what we can be about in our life. That's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
Pretty cool.
In the last little bit of page 97, it says, as you begin to live a life aligned with wisdom, you begin to see how wisdom underlies all of life. And you begin to get a glimpse of the unity of life. You become loving, understanding, and compassionate towards the full range of human experience. Wow, that's incredible. That really points us towards how we keep being students. Now, being a student of the principle doesn't mean that we don't get hit. We both do all the time, right? Or life comes and hits us in the face. So having a sense of this, living this life of understanding, doesn't prevent us from being hit, but continuing to be a student means that we know where to look. We know where to look when we are hit, when we're caught up, when it feels uncomfortable. Thank God it feels uncomfortable, because it's an invitation to go deeper. Instead of blaming someone for what I'm feeling, going, wow, I'm really caught up right now. It's really uncomfortable. Where does it come from? Does it come from there? No. Have you ever seen a feeling go from one person to the other? It sure feels that way sometimes. But this understanding gives us the opportunity, or is an invitation for us to see, oh, what's creating this right now? It's something other than the other person or the weather or my boss. So when we start to live this life of more understanding and love, we still get hit, but we know where to look. And that's being an internal student. And that's us. Never stops.
Yeah, I like that you don't get to be an expert in this any more than gravity works on all of us. But it's not like nobody ever stumbles or falls, or you're riding a bicycle and then you get wobbly. It's just continually getting more sensitive to the forces that are living us. The force that creates our experience, the force that allows us to be aware that thought creates our experience, the force that allows us to be aware of that we're connected to a deeper love and a deeper knowing, wisdom, and that we can always come back to that. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. We all think, we all can be aware that we think, we all are connected to a deeper knowing, and we can be aware of that. And that's true of every person, no matter who they are, no matter what age. So Sid used to say, what could be more simple? I've been saying this to you for years and years and years. Whatever you're feeling is created from thought. If you see thought, it'll bring you to the now, pure consciousness. You'll be aware without all that thinking. And when you're aware with all that thinking, there's a feeling and a knowing that rise up in you that are always there, no matter who you are. So it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. It's all thought, it's all consciousness, it's all divine mind, universal mind. See thought, drop into pure consciousness. Feel that feeling rising up in you of well-being as our thinking quiets down, our feelings rise up, and then give it away. And he'd say, how simple can that be? And there's no situation where people can't wake up, touch a deeper space inside, and be guided by wisdom to deal with whatever situation is happening. So that even when I was in a war zone one time, thinking I was going to die, I woke up out of my fearful thinking. I became more present. And then I had all the common sense I needed to stay alive for 2 weeks while I was in this war zone. So even in that situation, it's really simple. It's all thought. Look within. There's a feeling and a knowing. Trust it. Let it guide you.
One of the things that keeps just blowing me away is that this is true for every single human being. We're not talking to an elite, we're not talking to specific people. You don't have to be interested in spirituality. If you're a human being, this is how we work. It's like we're speaking about something that's universal. That's why Sid also called it universal principles. It's because there's no exceptions. So it's really beautiful to be able to share with people something that on a deep level they already know. And all we have to do is kind of go tap, tap, tap. This is how it works.
Remind
Right.
you.
I just want to read the last bit of the part 6, just because it just sort of allows this to come together. It says, trusting wisdom allows for surrender of any thought that limits your love and understanding. There comes a freedom as you stop running from suffering and understand the nature of any experience. You are at ease with who you are and what you are. You naturally experience compassion for the pain and suffering in yourself and other people. Well, the wisdom helps you respond to this suffering in a way that's helpful. So it's, you start to realize that there is this love and wisdom that guides us always, that we're connected to it and we can't be disconnected from it. We can forget it, we can fall asleep, it can feel like we're far, far away from it. I know I feel that way sometimes. So again, it's not about that we don't get caught up, but one of the things I could say that's true for both of us is we've come to a place in our lives where we trust and we know where to look, and that helps us. We still go up and down all the time, but we know where to look when we do. So we're not frightened of experience. We don't have to push it away and go, I don't want this experience. I only want to have this experience. It would be like going into or having the weather say, I only like it when it's sunny, but not too sunny. Like, I don't like rain or I don't like thunder. It's like, bring it on. It's okay. It's such a relief. There's such a freedom in not being frightened of any experience that we're having.